Von Tristan was fascinated with death. The later part of his years were spent creating the ultimate machine.
The director is Mauro Borelli, and he's this world-famous storyboard artist and illustrator. He's worked on all these giant, crazy projects, and he's just super creative.
His background is in visual effects and comic books, which really give him a very, very unique style. He has worked as a concept designer for some of the most talented directors in town, such as Francis Ford Coppola, Gore Verbinski, and Tim Burton, just to name a few.
Mauro he has such a strong visual sense. And this film is, one of the things that's so intriguing about the film, for me, was that it is a metaphor for drug addiction.
This is a supernatural thriller. It's an idea that came a few years ago when I saw this old coffin, in Venice, and I decided to do something with that. I thought that there's a great opportunity to do a metaphor. So I used the coffin really as a pretextuous element to talk about what a drug is, what a drug does, bring you to death, It gives you an apparent boost, of life, but actually is slowly killing you.
The coffin is kind of an integral part of this story. The coffin is, I call it the hero coffin. Now, and actually, believe it or not, this is a coffin that actually has a stunt double. And the purpose of that is, it's so light that one person can actually pick it up, and so we can move it around. And also, we also light the coffin on fire, we burn it up, it gets broken, kicked and smashed and all kinds of things. It goes through a lot. It's an integral part of the story.
Well, Mauro did a lot of work on the coffin himself, and he had an art team work on it, and they've been really pounding away putting this thing together. The most amazing thing, though, is I went to his house shortly before production began, and I saw the gears that are inside the coffin, and he's got, basically what he did is he went through his house and he took his children's toys and anything that had a little motor or a little engine in it, he tore them apart, painted them gold and silver. He found any type of kitchen implement that looked like it, might be a little bit outdated, and found a way to work that in. Any springs he could find. I think he was pulling things from under the couch. He basically collected all this stuff. He went on eBay, started ordering clock parts and machines, going to thrift stores, got all these motors working.
I'm always inspired by the visual elements, so my approach is always visual in the beginning, because I believe that visual also will tell you things that are inside, even performance. Performance cannot be independent from visual. Sometimes an eye line or a tone, how slow he performed the line is visual.
So, no vampires inside. So, since the coffin itself, the actual coffin for the movie cost approximately $5,000. So we built an exact double of the coffin just so we could use it in a lot of the scenes where we didn't need the real thing and where the real thing would be at risk. This one gets torn up, gets torched, it gets burned, and we don't have to do it to the real $5,000 coffin. So here it sits, getting ready to get torched a little bit later on tonight.
we didn't want to just make your ordinary lower budget film. We wanted this to be something special. So what we did is we went out and we're searching out for just great locations like this rooftop location, an amazing library.
Looks like a much bigger film than it is. The performances are great, direction is great. I think it was a good avenue for Mauro to kind of play with a good script and really kind of realize what was in his head. Mauro's got a good sense for the genre, appreciates it, knows it, and the script was great.
The movie, compared to the script, it has a little more of a tone, of a surreal mood. I didn't expect the city of Los Angeles, the feeling of this dark Los Angeles being on the movie when I wrote the script. So this is something on top of the script I didn't expect.
Box of Shadows is more a supernatural thriller than a horror film, and also Box of Shadows is more like a classical horror film than a modern horror film. Most of the horror films today, they're not horror films for me anymore. They're just torture porns or like only slashing, blood, killing. And this film has a story that is developing. You have ghosts, you have supernatural elements like the Reaper, but it's not seeing actually the thing that happens, how someone is in pain or get tortured. It's more about what you don't see, what you just feel, like they did in classical horror films.
Based on what I've seen so far, this is a movie I will not go see. I'll be scared to death. It's just not going to happen. I won't be out there because I'll be scared. I'll be frightened. No, I think this film's going to be fine. I think it's going to be great. I think the audience is going to like it because it's a thriller.